The gear button brings up a new display which shows how the rotors and plugboard are configured in the Enigma machine. The rotors that are currently in the machine are in this black box here, and in this green box are the additional rotors which are not being used at the moment. The Enigma 1 actually had 5 rotors, and any given day 3 of those 5 would be selected and then would be installed in the machine in a particular order. We can change the rotors simply by dragging them. Let's put rotor 5 here, which will knock the 1 out, and maybe let's put 1 here. So that selects which rotors are being used. Another thing you can do with the rotors is that each day they would have ring settings, and what these would do is these would shift what was displayed for a given rotor, which letter was displayed for a given rotor, against the actual letter that the rotor that corresponded to on that rotor. We can change those here, so I can change this to B, do that one at A, and C, say. So that's another setting we can make to the machine. The third setting, which actually added the most complexity to the Enigma machine, is the plugboard, or Steckerbrett, as it was called in German. This you could have up to 10 pairs of characters that would be swapped between the keyboard and the rest of the machine, and then again between the rest of the machine and the lamps. And in order to add a chord to or patch chord to this, we simply touch in one of these letters. So here's Q. We drag out, and we will put in a patch chord that basically swaps Q and B. The other thing we can do here, so these settings were actual physical Enigma machine settings. There's some other simulator settings here. For example, one of the differences between the naval and the Army and Air Force Enigma machines were that the Navy machines displayed the rotor positions as letters, whereas the Army and Luftwaffe machines displayed them as numbers. And we can change that by simply flicking this switch. And you'll notice that the display changes up here, and it will also display when we go back to the original, to the main window. Finally, we can, you probably noticed that the layout of the keyboard on the Enigma machine was a little strange. It's based on the German layout, which is QWERZY, instead of our normal QWERTY, which we use in English. But it also does not, it has tries to keep the same number of letters in each row of the keyboard, which had to do with the physical design of the machine. A little nicety here is that we can flip this switch, and the Enigma machine will basically change this. The Imitation Enigma will change this so that it will display it using the QWERTY layout. So now we can just hit Configure Enigma, down here, and we'll see the changes. We've got the QWERTY layout of the keyboard. We've got the letters are displayed, the rotor positions are displayed as numbers. We can't really see the ring settings, but they have been changed indeed.